Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Welcome back to the Solution Center. I'm Aaron TV Bob. Today we have a special guest with us from our friends over at Daikin, Mr. Brandon Newman.
Hey,
now Brandon's in town out of Tennessee,
Chattanooga.
right? And he was teaching a class today here at our Indy West location on the new products of Daikin, talking a little bit about the A2L conversion and some inverter technology. Is that right?
That's correct.
All right, Brandon, so kind of walk us through today some of the things that you were talked about with the group who was here, or maybe anything that you'd like to get out there to our contractors that weren't able to attend.
Sure. So today we had a group of maybe 12 to 14 contractors that came in. The class was designed around product updates, a lot of application exercises. The request was we need to know how to put these in, more so where to put these in, how do we put position high walls versus cassettes or whatnot. So we did a lot of application exercises, product updates we went through. The main product that we talked about updating was our new R32 system. This is our Atmosphera 1-to-1 mini split. As most of you may or may not know, R32 is an A2L refrigerant that's going to be mandated starting in 2025. Those two refrigerants are going to be R454B and they're going to be R32. Now,
that's kind of a big deal right now.
That's a huge deal, and so we're trying to talk about this as much as we can right now because there is a lot of misinformation out there. So in this class we talked about the differences between R32 being a single component refrigerant, something that we've used since 2012, and then also versus the new refrigerant R454B that's coming out, which doesn't have any history on it. There's no testing, and about 30% of that is made up of a fairly new automobile refrigerant. So we're staying with a single component refrigerant as to where everyone else seems to be going with a dual compound. So there's going to be a lot of advantages that come along with using a single compound refrigerant. So we talked a lot about that today. And then
now, one of the things I know that's been really popular and people are asking questions about for the A2L conversion are the mitigation parts and pieces that'll be in there. So if it detects a leak, it'll shut the system down?
No, so this is no different than when we went from R22 to 410 back in 2010. We're just going back, we went single compound, dual compound. We're going back to a single compound refrigerant.
Gotcha.
So this is a whole new product line. So everything that will come from Daikin in the R32 realm, everything is going to be new design, new models, but not much different than using an R410 system. There's not any kind of real safety protocols or anything built into a system. So we also talked about a lot of today about our zoning kit that clips on to our horizontal ducted unit. This is something that we released a couple years ago, and guys that are using it have been absolutely floored at what it can do. So we take our horizontal ducted unit and we have a kit that clips onto the front of it, and basically just gives you fully modulating zone dampers on the front of the unit, so you can go directly into different rooms. If you've got small areas that you typically can't get to with ductless or unitary, a little 6-inch run, you can drop it into closets, you can drop it into bathrooms, places that you typically can't get to with your traditional system or other ductless systems. So
sounds like that might be pretty popular then.
It's very popular, especially in like our rancher applications. You can do the whole house and basically zone it. Very simple. You still got DC motors, inverter technology, and so another topic that that was very popular today, we talked about inverter technology. So inverters are in all of our ductless units. They're in a lot of the unitary lines, but we just released our Goodman side discharge. So we now have a side discharge, the Daikin Fit. We have the Amana S, I think it's called, and now the Goodman E series. So having an inverter in the Goodman line is really kind of eye-opening when we think about what the future looks like with inverters and Goodman. So what that means is your Goodman line will be all inverter driven in the very near future. So that technology is coming and phasing out all the single stage, two-stage compressors for sure.
I sat in for a little bit and I heard a discussion about how that's like really going to help save energy moving forward. Is that kind of the motivation driven behind that?
Yeah, so the misconception with inverters are that they run all the time, so it's going to cost me a lot of money to have this in my house. And it's really the exact opposite. So if you think of it, your typical system now when it comes on, it's like mashing the gas pedal in your car. It's going to give you everything that it has. It's going to satisfy and then cut off. As to where an inverter, if it just needs 1 degree of cooling, because that compressor is already running at a very low speed, it'll ramp up just a little bit to give you that 1 degree of cooling instead of just flooring the gas pedal and throwing everything.
Kick,
Right, and so that's where your utilities come in, is because every time that compressor is on and off, it's hitting amp draw and it's hitting your utility bill. So an inverter stays on, so it doesn't turn off, and that's where the efficiency and the savings come in.
Gotcha. So moving forward here, I know it's going to be a big year for new products. So 2024 is kind of the A2L conversion year, but the systems, from what I understand, will be available in 24, but they'll be mandatory in 25.
That's correct. So we've got one system in our lineup right now, the ductless. It's our Atmosphera system that we've just released. So A2Ls, refrigerants, are open in every state except 11 right now. So Indiana is wide open. So if you don't have your certification for R32, our friends at Johnstone can get you hooked up with that. Daikin City, HVAC Learning Campus, if you're a contractor, you can go and take this certification. But yeah, a lot of hype around R32, and that change will be 2025. So as our lineup continues to change, I think in 2025, when everything's changed, we're going to have a lot of excitement in about a year and a half.
Yeah, so we're doing a piece here on December 19th. We're having Clifton Beck in from the ESCO Institute. And he's going to do a 4-hour class just on kind of the ins and outs of A2L. And we're going to have some tool vendors in to kind of help with that transition as well. So we're doing that this year, but from what I understand, 2024 is going to be kind of packed here and there with pieces that everyone can get all the information for.
Yeah, so the past 3 years, 2023, we had a SEER2 change. Right, so we had a lot of model numbers that got the axe because they didn't qualify. So 2023 was the SEER2 change. 2024 is actually a UL mandate update change. So, and then 2025 is going to be a refrigerant change. So a lot of our models that didn't get affected by the SEER2 change, we did have a change in their model number. That was because we already went ahead and did the 2024 UL update. So we don't have to worry about that. So our next change will be 2025. Whole new lineup, whole new product lines, a lot of new stuff coming out with R32. So we're excited.
All right, and we're excited to hear about it. Well, that'll be all for us today from the Solution Center. We appreciate Brandon stopping by. So if you're interested in moving forward in any Daikin training, you can reach out to either your branch, your territory sales manager, or johnstonесolutions.com. Click on training. Let us know what you're interested in. We always like to hear from you. If you like what we're bringing, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave some comments, and let us know what you'd like to see in the future. That's all today. Thanks a lot.